What's up, guys? Quick vlog movie review here because I wasn't planning on seeing it, but once upon a Deadpool, I went to go see a friend of mine, Angel. He's the guy that beats me up in the Deus Ex review. Invited me last minute, gave me a free ticket, so I went out and saw it with him and his girl. And I'm not disappointed that I went. I thought it was good, and would I have personally spent money on it? Yes, but I am a very, very special case. So let's make this video about should you go out and see Once Upon a Deadpool with so many other movies out there right now and spend that precious money on it when you could be watching something else? And the answer is probably not. And it pains me to say that because I like the movie so much. Obviously, I rated it very highly. I rated it a 9 out of 10. But I'm the special case because I really, really like The Princess Bride. That's a 10 out of 10 film. Go and see that film if you haven't seen it. Buy it on DVD. And then I like Deadpool 2, 9 out of 10. So when you're melding these two things together, when we're getting about 20 minutes of new footage, most of it with Fred Savage, recreating the scenes from Princess Bride where they're reading him a story. And he's pointing out plot holes and funny things in the movie. I thought it was worth it, and I felt like it was super funny, it made me laugh. Now, is the film itself, the big thing is it's going down to PG-13. I have no idea why they're doing this.
What were your first thoughts upon hearing that and then, I guess, being kidnapped to be in it?
My first thought was this is a terrible idea. Why would you do that? This is a movie that's meant so much to so many people, myself included. Why would you just spray your Deadpool all over this thing? And that's my current thought. You know, that's my first thought and all my other thoughts until now.
I mean, part of the reason why Angel wanted to see this is because he was watching so many videos on YouTube of Fred Savage promoting it, and he is, for a lack of a better term, savage.
I am not a Deadpool fan, and so they gave me all these things to read, and they said read these, and we'll let you go, and so I did, and they did, to their credit.
I had no idea Fred was so freaking funny these days.
Right.
But Ryan had some nice words for you on Twitter. He said you were a handsome sandwich. What would you call Ryan? You can use air quotes. Feel free.
What I call Ryan?
Yeah, he called you a handsome sandwich.
Oh, okay. I call him a greedy, shameless celebrity who will do anything to humiliate people and make money. Air quotes.
Wow.
And so he made us want to go see the film. But he says it's a terrible idea. And it kind of is because, honestly, when you're going from an R to a 13, you're losing a lot of scenes. They do make up for that. Some of the bleeps, when they start to bleep some of the curse words, it's funny. It's played for dramatic effect. There's even some jokes regarding the bleeps.
What the f-
Easy now. Hey, the only F-bomb we're using around here is Fred Savage. Now, listen to me very carefully, Frederick. You're in a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, which means we only get one and a glass of white wine.
Are you bleeping yourself?
You bet your voice and little I am.
But unfortunately, they do have to remove some of the hard R violence in the film, and some of that hard R stuff was tied in with some jokes, and so the editing feels a bit jumpy here and there, and I think that overall, being completely honest, as much as I love Deadpool 2, Ryan Reynolds, all these things, I do think it's an inferior version of the film. And ultimately, what it feels like to me is the most badass DVD special feature ever, like almost of all time. Just as good as like alternate endings. I love alternate endings. But it got released in theaters. And I heard $1 of each of the ticket sales is going to go to Fudge Cancer, another play on words like fuck cancer, research. So that's cool. So if you've already seen Spider-Man, if you've already seen Bumblebee to make fun of it or to say that I'm I'm wrong. If you've already seen some of this stuff coming out, like Mortal Engines and Aquaman, see, there's so many other movies that I think that you should probably go out and see. Then maybe you could see Once Upon a Deadpool. I personally would rather see Once Upon a Deadpool actually than Bumblebee again. So maybe there's that recommendation. Now, don't be that person in the theater. There were barely anybody in the theater, so I don't think this is going to do well. But at the same time, I don't think Ryan expects this to do well, or anybody expects it to do well. It's just an additional side release, and because this was our theater when the film started. Now there was a few more people. Ironically enough, the row I was in was the only row that filled up. It filled up on my left side and my right side. I was like, me and Angel looked at each other like, seriously. But yeah, so there was a little bit more people there. But I don't, like I said, I don't think it'll do well, and I think that was an experiment, and maybe it kind of failed. Maybe it needed more footage. Maybe it needed an alternate ending. Maybe it needed some of that, or just not such a busy time for it to do better. And I would recommend, if you don't agree that Princess Bride is a 9 or a 10, or that Deadpool is a 9 or a 10, and even if you do agree, so it's and you want to watch other things, go ahead and watch other things and wait for this to come out on DVD. Now, I guess Deadpool 2 has already come out on DVD with special features, but they might have to re-release it with this in it because I want this, and I think it's fantastic. There are, there's like 4 end credit scenes, but none of them are like too massive or anything like that. They're just wrapping up the Fred Savage storyline, but I like it. Ultimately, I'm happy that I saw it. I didn't have to spend money on it. Would I spend money on it? Yes, but I am a very specific niche case, and it's right barely on the line. I might, for the rest of you, save that money. Go watch like Aquaman, because I'm excited about that one. I hope it's going to be good. Or Spider-Man, actually, is what you really need to see. I gave it a 10 out of 10. My buddies gave it a 9 out of 10. Go and see that one. Support that film, because I'm worried that that's not going to do well. And we really need that animation to do well, so we start to see a return of 2D animation and stylistic directions and creative stuff. So that's my opinion on Once Upon a Deadpool. Make your decision based off that. Let me give it a rating. I gave Deadpool 2 a 9 out of 10. I think that Once Upon a Deadpool is an inferior version of that, taking out some of the comedy. But because the Fred Savage stuff, the 20 minutes of Fred Savage, the Princess Bride parody, and they put in some alternate scenes, and I'll talk about that in the quick spoilers from, I guess, outtakes of Deadpool 2 or deleted scenes. I think that adds enough to where it'll drop to 8, but then it drops or rises back up to a 9 out of 10. But if you were to put these up against each other, I would say it's just better to watch it in its original form and then get this nice DVD feature so you can wait for the Blu-ray or DVD. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going to do a quick spoiler section where I talk about all the scenes that I can remember in case you guys don't want to bother waiting or watching it in theaters. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Okay, so spoilers section. What can I remember? Well, he kidnaps Fred Savage. Obviously, he's got him taped to the bed, and they tie in the joke that he's kidnapped other celebrities. They at points during the film. They interrupt with the Princess Bride story reading stuff. First, Ryan Reynolds himself interrupts after they do the intro, like, why am I here? And he's like, we're going to do this thing. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, the only way you're getting out of here is if you do this. But the first time Deadpool actually interrupts, he's staring at Fred Savage, waiting for Fred Savage to say something, because it's when he's kissing up on his girlfriend. And if you know Princess Bride, Fred Savage's character is like, ew, can you skip the kissing part? And he's like, do the thing, say the thing. And Fred's like, what? And he's like, he's like, what, the kissing? He's like, say the thing, and he's like, no, I'm an adult now, and I think kissing is a beautiful thing between two people. He's like, so stuff like that. Later on, another interruption comes with Fred Savage complaining that they fridged his girlfriend. So a lot of people thought that oh, you get to criticize the movie. I think a lot of feminists brought it up, and then some other people brought it up. The fact that you're just killing off Deadpool's girlfriend, you're fridging her, and this is bad, or this is just eye rolling. And so Fred brings it up, and Deadpool handles it really well. So it's almost worth going to see for that. He's like, "Oh, you mean like Mufasa and Lion King?" And then joke kind of goes by quick, and Angel he's saying, "I didn't get it at first," but it's like, no, it's showing you that they're taking something you really care about, some sort of family member or something you love a lot, and killing it to drive the plot forward. And Angel's like, "Ah, I see what he did there." Yeah, but I mean, I guess feminists and other people would argue that, oh no, the fact that it's a female, because females haven't been getting a lot of respect in previous media and stuff, so they make that point. But I thought it was a funny joke. It was hilarious, and it just kind of gives you the mindset of Deadpool, just the way he thinks. So they handled that well. And then later on, when Cable shows up, he interrupts there. He's like, "Oh fuck you got Cable in this film?" And then Fred Savage goes on. I can't even recreate it here. He literally goes into the backstory of who Cable is, where he comes from, how he was born, who's related to him, all these different nerdy comic book references. And Deadpool's like, yeah, we got the time travel thing covered. So there was a funny joke there. I'm not gonna remember all of them, and I wish there were more, because the Fred Savage parts were the best part of the film, and I want to say that in the review. Oh, the Fred Savage things were the best part of the film. I want to put that in here, so I can cut that and put in the other thing. But anyway, so. It was super funny. I think he makes mention of the celebrities that he's captured. He talks about how Brad Pitt is in the film. And then, that redneck, I never knew this. I think that redneck was, if I'm not mistaken, Matt Damon, just in such heavy, heavy, heavy makeup. And he mentions Matt Damon when he's talking about, captured celebrities. And I was like, look, I told you. But I could be wrong on that. But actual new scenes in Deadpool itself was, there's sort of new bleeps. There's a little bit more in the mansion. You don't get to see any more X-Men. It's more like when he decides to become an X-Men, he tries to organize their food in little containers with little Velcro labels instead of tape labels. Really inconsequential stuff. He mentions the labels again when he's playing the music for Colossus to come down, because Teenage Negasonic, whatever, is actually using the labels now. Inconsequential stuff like that, which really felt more like deleted scenes that really is fine to have left on the cutting room floor. So nothing really substantial. They recut the film to make certain parts feel a little shorter and a little disjointed. So I was like, I don't like that. And there are bleeps at certain moments. One of the moments in the film where Colossus says "fuck," they bleep it for dramatic effect. They do bleeps elsewhere. Surprising, and then he talks about how Fred Savage. He says we can only have like two shits and one fuck, but they don't follow those rules. There's way more profanity than that. Namely because the song where they're like, "Holy shit." Holy shit, when the Juggernaut's attacking everybody. They don't bleep any of that out. Holy fuck. So there's a lot of profanity left in the film. Also, when Deadpool grabs the gun, you know how it shoots right through his hand and he kind of goes through the gun? They use CGI. It looks fine. It doesn't look like crappy or crappy on purpose. Nothing happens and you're like, wait, what just happened? I don't understand. Surprisingly, Juggernaut still rips Deadpool in half, though they kind of frame it to where you can't really see it too well. A little bit of an inferior version there. He wraps up the story, lets him go. I kind of wanted a little bit better, resolution there. As you wish, he says to let him go and stuff like that. But it was it was funny. And surprisingly still funny. He was talking about fucking, fighting. I want to fight this guy. Fred would say, I want to fight this guy, but he would bleep it as if he says, I want to fuck this guy. So that's it. That's all I gotta say on the spoilers. It was funny, and hopefully you do get to see it eventually in the DVD commentary. All right, guys. I will see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.